he's ready to get into the game for game number 2. You see there's been a little bit of a back and forth already going on, so we'll bring that to speed. There's 9 damage currently on Daniel's base, on Daniel's data vault, and 6 on Sam's data vault, and we've just seen there the deployment of the Boba leader onto the Kylo's TIE Silencer, clearing the way of a blue leader there.
Yeah, beautiful deployment. I think he's willing to take the risk of being blown out by a confiscate because he already is getting so much value from the deployment itself. And looks like Samuel does not have an immediate answer for it. Otherwise, he would have played it. And this means that Daniel is really getting a lot of value from his little deploy this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's going to go ahead and swing with it straight away into the Sentinel while he can, while it's around. Just take the 2 damage back, which ordinarily would be enough to defeat that Kylo's TIE Silencer, but is boosted up thanks to the pilot that is underneath it. And Daniel still has all 6 resources to work with because he used resupply in the early phases of the game. Sam, however, still stuck on 5 at the moment, is enough to deploy the Han Solo leader as soon as it's able to. But here with the Ruthless Raider coming down, going to start softening it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm really liking the position Daniel is in right now, but it's all going to come down to what Sam is going to do because he has a hand full of cards. He's playing out of aspect the Felder Dragon as a possible removal, but it's not really working against this Ruthless Raider. He's going to play instead of Cassian deploy. This is not ideal that early in the game to have to spend an entire turn just doing that, especially when Daniel is putting so much pressure in space back, but at least he did do something this turn.
Yeah, absolutely. Still just trying to get as much of that pressure and that damage onto base as possible at the moment. Try and whittle away through that 33 HP as the phase will continue into the next one.
Every turn Daniel gets to have this Boba unanswered in space. It's a huge win for him. This thing is swinging at 7 every turn. It's so incredibly impactful, and keep in mind it also had, of course, this entering battlefield effect that's wiped out 2 units, and that's a beautiful Vader here. Will be able to clear out his enemy Han 2, which means he will not be able to use that ability this turn. We will reduce Sam's Moore's options to play larger unit this turn, and if he can combine this with something that can add more pressure, especially in space, that would be perfect here for Daniel.
It's not going to go into space. It's going to be the Phase 3 Dark Trooper that we're going to grab off of the Vader ability. Of course, Darth Vader, when it is played, you look at the top 10 cards of the deck, and you can grab some villain units there that add up to 3 resources of cost. So either just 1 3 cost, or a 2 and a 1, or 3 1s, depending on what you find in that top 10. But in this instance, it's just going to go ahead and be the Dark Trooper.
Yeah, it's not amazing, but at least it's blocking off Cassian's. And once again, as long as Sam Moore is... The fact that Sam Moore has decided to take this attack here means that he has no answer to those units in space, and he's taking an absolute beating. This could be a very, very short game. Keep in mind also that Daniel Craft is also playing. Daniel Craft is also playing some really good top ender that are really good at finishing the game, such as Devastator that can deal 4 damage directly to face. And once again, when you are low in HP and you're playing against Boba 4, it's become very awkward because if you can't redirect the indirect damage to your base and you have to put them on your units all the time, it is so annoying. So being low in HP against Boba 4 is really annoying, even more so than against other decks, I feel like.
Yeah, so we're going to go into the next phase. I can see that there's a Great Dragon in both players' hands at the moment. Sam might be tempted to maybe resource his with how far away that he is from potentially playing it. But a Great Dragon being able to hit the board here, we talk about some of those big late game enders and threats. being able to deal damage to either your opponent's base or ground unit they control anytime your opponent decides to try and play a card is going to be very, very impactful, as will an overwhelming barrage to be able to, it looks like, indeed, clear the entire board from Sam. No more Sentinel and no more Cassian to start poking with again.
Beautiful barrage here from Danielle. He's now in complete control of this game. Both players having Grey Dragon, but I can tell you that Sam is going to be much more afraid of Daniel's Grey Dragon than the other way around. I mean, someone will be able to play it one turn earlier, I guess, thanks to that hand ability. It looks like he's gonna scoop. Wow.
Yeah,
I was expecting this game to not last much longer, but I was not expecting a scoop. He's not even halfway through his health, but no, he's gonna prefer to save sometimes for the last games. There's only 20 minutes left on the round, so I can kind of respect that from Sam. He doesn't want to take. He doesn't want to. He wants to have the opportunity to win that third game.
Yeah, and especially when he is currently the only player on a draw at the moment with a undefeated record, but with a draw throughout his time in the tournament so far. Wants to give him as best and as strong as an opportunity to get another victory, get those 3 points into the match total as we get towards the closing stages and make sure that he is not falling behind. At the moment, in the standings, I'll just double quickly check my records here. Daniel is in 5th place and Sam is right below him in 6th. So there are 5-0 players that are undefeated, and then one more joining them in the form of Sam with this X01 record. So every point here is going to be really, really important.
Absolutely. So we're sorry about the disagreement. Someone apparently walked behind the person who was taking care of the stream and unplugged the computer. So that's basically the reason why we had to restart the stream, and also we are really sorry for the inconvenience, and hopefully we get back into the game with a normal running games and not too many lags.
Yeah, it's an occupational hazard, we call it, when you're walking around and you're hosting a major tournament at a major convention like this. There is obviously, of course, being Saturday, one of the busiest days of the UK Games Expo weekend. It is one of those inevitable situations that you try and account for as much as possible, but thankfully everything's been resolved. There's no long-lasting damage that's been created and caused, and we are ready to get ourselves into game 3. That Daniel is going to be relying on a mulligan, so is Sam as well here, not liking either of the initial hands that they took. So it is going to be the top 6 cards in a dream for both of these players to try and continue their undefeated run here on this Saturday convention event tournament at UKGE.